Welcome to Wrapping Things Up, the podcast where we tie up the loose ends on all things packaging so you walk away with solutions. Coming up on today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the Wrapping Things Up podcast. My name is Meredith Denning, and today I am here with a very special guest, Mr. Lucas Daane.
Hi.
How are you doing today, Lucas?
Good, how are you?
Good. Are you excited to be on the pod?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you nervous?
No,
you're not nervous at all. That's exactly what I need. I need that type of energy 24/7. Lucas, can you do us a favor? Give us a little background of yourself, give us a little highlight, tell us what you do, tell us about your role, and maybe how you started working at Viking Masek.
Sure, yeah. I'm a mechanical engineer by education, so I've been an engineer for about 11 years now.
Wow.
Come from the nonwovens industry in my past life as a designer, project manager. Moved into Viking Masek. I've been here for about 4 years now.
Cool.
Started as an applications engineer, working with the sales team, helping them spec equipment for our customers, helping our customers design systems that are going to be efficient and effective for them, for their packaging needs. So I've been doing that for a while. I was recently moved into the manager role of our department in applications engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been enjoying, improving our own processes for how we help the sales team and how we, touch the other areas of our organization to help make sure that we're succeeding. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm so excited for you to be on the podcast today. Before we jump into anything crazy or heavy, I would love to ask you just a fun little question. What's the last packaged product you opened? And did the experience make you think like an engineer or just a regular human being struggling with a packaging?
Yeah. Well, I will say the other night, my son and I were playing some Legos.
Classic.
And so I'm always interested by the Lego packaging. They have the boxes, and then inside the boxes, they have the individual packs of Legos.
Yeah.
Like your step one, open this pack, step two, et cetera. So
yeah.
My 5-year-old son was struggling to open one of the packages, and he's like, So then I'm like, every time I see somebody struggling to open a package, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? But yeah, I found the little, area where you could tear it, start the tear. And it's like the kind of packaging that when you start to open it, as soon as it started, the whole, like a bag of potato chips just, so I started it for him and I gave it back to him, but he didn't realize it was just tear it. He thought he still had to rip it, so he pulled on it and it exploded and showered Legos all over my infant son that was next to us.
And then you're just praying that there's none on the floor so you don't step on any. You're carefully inspecting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
Are you the type of person, just out of curiosity, when you're building Legos, do you have to follow the instructions step by step, or are you the type who likes to challenge yourself and figure it out?
No. You got to follow. I'm an engineer, so you got to follow the instructions. Same thing with a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love that. I probably knew the answer to that question already, but figured it would be fun to ask. Well, that's great. Hey, I would love to dive in to our topic today. I was looking at some recent research and was surprised to learn that some industry analysts described in 2023 on up to this year, 2025, that this year was a transitional phase from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0. Essentially, humans and robots are working much more closely or even more closely together. Mm-hmm. And I would love for you to kind of touch base on that, describe a little bit of what Industry 4.0 is in comparison to Industry 5.0.
Yeah, Industry 4.0 had a lot to do with automation and digitization, collection of data to improve processes or monitor processes within factories and production settings. Industry 5.0 kind of is a little bit more human-centric. It's kind of starting to dig into how do we coexist with all of this automation?
Okay.
How do we turn it back towards how do humans interact with this automation?
Yeah.
A lot of things like, cobots, collaborative robots, where we're maybe palletizing in the packaging industry, maybe palletizing things where a human and a robot can be working in the same area safely without having any risk to the human. Same thing for automated forklifts or AGVs, AMRs, whatever you want to call them, where these forklifts are kind of driving around plants, and they have all the sensors and technology to make sure they're not going to run into people and that good stuff. So not only the collaborative robots and things of that nature, but also sustainability. How does packaging affect our environment and our experience with that? Also, different types of augmented or virtual reality. How do we make virtual machines to kind of plan for things and see how things interact with each other? Using augmented reality to visualize things in a space before we actually implement them. So all of these kinds of things that are coming up in technology that we want to utilize to help improve the experience or how we interact with these automations.
Right. That's really interesting. When you're working with manufacturers, how are you seeing packaging engineering roles actually shift? Are they shifting? And what do those roles currently look like?
In the past, in packaging and in other industries as well, a lot of our customers have been designing these, systems for their processes on their own, right? They employ a lot of engineers to make equipment selection, sizing, actually designing equipment and manufacturing it themselves. And we've seen a shift away from that so that our customers and others can focus their efforts on what their actual product is.
Right.
Instead of trying to be doing it all, designing systems and parts and building stuff, they focus on their product and let others, systems integrators, design these things for them and do that work so they can focus on what they're good at.
What skills would you tell engineers that they need to pick up or risk losing relevance in their role?
Just to kind of tag off of what I said for your last question, as you get more into allowing other businesses to support you in those areas, getting better at project management, I think for engineers is a huge deal. Being able to manage the scope of what you're trying to accomplish and relay that information to a systems integrator or a vendor that's going to be providing you equipment. And managing, the install, the training, the maintenance, all this stuff is really important. Also things like data analysis and, Six Sigma skills, taking a data-driven approach to improving your processes, I think are great skills that engineers can have as they move away from designing, but more so maintaining and operating these, focusing on those types of things. Using data to help drive decisions, make improvements, that kind of stuff.
What's one skill that surprised you by becoming essential in this new environment?
Yeah, maybe not so much surprised, but something that's really interesting to me is the augmented reality type of technology that people are starting to pick up a little more, specifically for service or other things. So augmented reality, you get the glasses that the operator can wear. And then somebody else remote can help guide them to do certain things. They can put little pointers in front of them or actually show them what nut to turn, loosen or tighten or whatever. Really interesting, and I think could be, a pretty significant tool for a lot of industries moving forward to help, improve speed of service and decrease downtime and a lot of good things.
Have you personally been able to use it?
I have used it.
Really?
It's pretty awesome.
I'm sure it sounds really cool.
It's like future,
It's like 2030, year 3000.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think it's very clear that change isn't new in the packaging world, right? Some would say that the pace feels very different now. From where you sit, what would you say are the three biggest forces shaking things up?
Labor, obviously, is a big deal, and why a lot of industries or companies are moving to automation. Obviously, the decrease in the labor force that we can pull from to do manual tasks. Also, just unique packaging. Obviously, all of our customers and a lot of people are looking for an edge in their packaging and their branding, trying to make their items stand out on the shelf and be unique. So the different complexities that come with unique packaging. And then also sustainability, like we talked about before. just looking to use more recyclable packaging, post-consumer recycled packaging, these types of things present different challenges for us as a packaging manufacturer, obviously to help our customers with.
Yeah. Out of those three, which would you say is the top disruptor and why?
Yeah, probably labor, honestly.
Sure.
Just having a good, solid workforce that you can pull from and count on, right? If people aren't showing up to work, obviously you're just going to have downtime, right?
Yeah.
So it's a big challenge, and part of what we focus on with our different automation offerings that we work with is how do we meet the needs of our customers where they need it, right? Like we can automate certain parts that are super labor intensive. Sometimes we walk into situations where there's 14 people doing one process, like hand packing something into something or hand loading a piece of equipment. So those are kind of the opportunities that we get to see to help improve that, or I guess lessen the impact of that labor shortage.
Yeah, you kind of just answered my next question, but we can expand on that a little bit. How are engineers helping to bridge the gap, specifically if labor shortage is one of the biggest disruptors?
Yeah, just, looking for opportunities for an easy automation.
Right.
Sometimes it's just very simple, one piece of equipment that automates a task that is really simple and really shouldn't require a person to be working on it. Let's say erecting boxes, right?
Yeah.
If you're hand packing something into boxes, even just a small machine to automatically make the boxes can be really helpful. But yeah, honestly, engineers just should be taking a look at their process as a whole and seeing where the inefficiencies are. Again, taking a data-driven approach to where do we have the most downtime? Where do we have the most people that aren't showing up for that particular task?
Right.
Or where do we have the highest quality defect issues? And taking a data approach to how do we improve that? How do we purchase some equipment or implement some new process and see a return on that investment, right?
Yeah.
So that we can improve our process. But
Yeah, that's good. Kind of going into more of the conversation of automation. Automation is certainly central to larger industry challenges, especially as they relate to the labor shortage. Naturally, engineers see the value in automation, I would say, but they're often not the ones writing the check or making that final decision. How do you bridge the gap in that?
Taking a holistic approach to the process, bringing the data of here's our process right now, and kind of a unbiased, even though we are slightly biased towards,
Sure.
but outwardly unbiased, approach to saying, hey, like here's the data of what we're doing right now. Here's an opportunity to improve, and then show what a return on investment could be like.
Right.
If we spend X amount of dollars purchasing this new piece of equipment, in 1 year we'll have paid for it and we'll be making on it.
Right. Here's the why.
After that. So yeah, just taking that approach.
Would you consider engineers as an automation influencer or advocates?
Both.
Or both.
Both. Yeah. I really like the fact that automation allows engineers to kind of flex their creative muscle and take some, creative positions towards how do we solve this problem? How do we provide the best solution for this problem? And being able to come up with a really cool idea and pitch it to people and say, hey, like, look at what we can do.
Yeah.
If we just spend a little now to improve this process, how much better it will be for quality, our uptime, all that good stuff.
Right.
So.
Do you think there is a risk that engineers oversell automation without accounting for the real world rollout challenges?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Obviously, as our customers and others, start to move to more automation, there's different challenges, obviously, with, being able to service your equipment, staffing up for, maintenance, technical support, but you can hedge that by working with systems integrators that will do a lot of that work for you, right?
Yeah.
That have good remote support. Really, it's a big thing that people need to consider. How do they shift their workforce from these manual, labor-intensive tasks to having a workforce that can service and troubleshoot and maintain this equipment to run effectively.
Yeah. When making the case for automation, what moves the needle with the decision makers in the room?
Yeah, the return on investment for
Right,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, just taking all of the data you have to say, here's our current efficiency, quality, uptime, all these things that kind of go into this, OEE number, our speeds, our throughputs. Take a look at all that and say, if we purchase X component or Y piece of machinery, we can save some money and see a return on investment and have a better process.
Absolutely. Do you see more success when engineers present the what or the why first?
I would say probably the what. I think is more clear to everybody. Like usually when you present a problem that needs solving, everybody can get on board with, oh yeah, I see that. I see that every day. I see, that issue, that machine's always broken down. There's always people missing from here. So going into that first and then exposing kind of the problem probably, and then after that attacking the how and why we execute the solution. Yeah.
That's good. Let's say the decision gets made and we get our answer of yes. What are the gotchas and maybe what derails these projects?
Things that can kind of stall or derail projects, I would say, are a lack of like a good scope, right?
Okay.
Good information about what we're trying to accomplish and what we're not trying to accomplish. Good historical data and drawings, facility drawings and utilities available are all things that can kind of stall or prevent success from happening. Where's the equipment going to fit in our facility? How do we supply all the necessary utilities? And then also, along with the scope, having a well-defined scope creep can have a major impact on projects and getting them launched. Basically, saying we wanted to do this to solve this problem, but maybe we could also have it solve that problem and that problem and that problem.
Flexibility.
Obviously, we want to design systems to be flexible, but when you start to ask too much of something, right? You're asking it to solve every problem under the sun. It's not going to do any of them particularly well. So we want to keep flexibility in mind, but obviously limit it to have a, effective piece of process or effective process.
How do you, as an engineer, proactively address these issues to prevent them from becoming automation stumbling blocks? Is there a playbook for success? Is there a formula, Lucas? Is there a perfect
secret sauce
answer?
I would say just good record keeping for facilities, obviously. Like I mentioned with the plant drawings and all that stuff, having that stuff ready to go, maintaining good records of your existing equipment. Obviously, if we're going to be providing one small piece of equipment to go into a larger system, we need to know what we're integrating with, how the signaling works. So that's really important. And then again, we talked about project management skills, having a good scope defined, and having a good path forward to success, because all these little things start to come in and chip away at the progress.
Things don't go the way that you originally planned.
So having a good scope and following it, right?
That's awesome. Have you ever seen a project fail because of something that could have been fixed in the planning stage?
Again, to harp on the facility stuff, not having good plant drawings and all of a sudden we get to install and something doesn't fit is the biggest thing that comes to mind. So, or some piece of integration is unknown or unexpected and it causes delays, it causes rework and change orders and all the stuff. And so having good scope, good records obviously will help alleviate that type of stuff.
Kind of thinking along the lines of if someone brings a turnkey system to you, or if we provide a turnkey system instead of buying just an individual machine, what's the appeal of that from an engineering standpoint and otherwise?
It reduces the risk to our customer, right? If they don't have to manage all of the transitions, the signals, all these little pieces that go into making an efficiently running system. If you purchase a turnkey system, you kind of let somebody else manage all of that for you. It simplifies it, and if something's going wrong, all you have to do is stand back and go, Time for you to fix this for me.
Please and thanks.
Yeah, right.
That's good. I love that. How can a turnkey system benefit both current state and future automation initiatives?
Can just help with consistency, obviously having the correct equipment in place and the correct transitions and integrations. Obviously will just provide more success, right? Like if you piece things together, things can become disjointed. One part of a system is not working properly, the whole system can be affected by that, right? So we want to make sure that there's a smooth process going on, that it's balanced, right? As much stuff we have going in is coming out, and all of that can be helped by purchasing a turnkey system, right? And all those integrations are finely tuned to work, nicely.
Yeah. So to wrap things up, would you be able to provide some insights on resources engineers could rely on to stay informed about all the change that is happening in tech, automation, and just the industry as a whole?
Yeah. I mean, the internet is a wonderful place, right? So YouTube is one of my favorites, right? Just like, how do I solve this problem? What kind of equipment is available for XYZ?
Right.
LinkedIn, there's all kinds of great posts from companies on their new technologies and new processes. Reddit, and going to trade shows too. Right? Like getting to Pack Expo and just walking around. You don't even need to talk to people, even though they try to hound you. Can I scan your badge? Can I scan your badge? Yeah. But even just looking at, what's out there, what kind of different ideas are floating around, new technologies, new things to help us solve old problems sometimes, right?
And just get out there and see what's out there, which is good. One last question, so let's make it fun. What is a package you've encountered recently that made you stop and think, that's very clever? And is it something that impressed the engineer in you?
Yeah. The way that our customers are using these different kinds of pre-made pouches, stand caps, center spout pouches, corner spout pouches, I think is kind of cool. Obviously, we all know like the sour cream in the stand cap pouch is like the cool innovation there, but different things like peanut butter and guacamole. And I saw a corner spout pouch with like pre-mixed pancake batter. You just like unscrew the top and pour it into the pan. That's kind of neat. Yeah. But other things like refillables, like refillable deodorant or other things that where there's like single-use plastic waste.
Right.
I think that's really neat and creative and awesome, goes towards the sustainability thing that everybody is all concerned about, right?
Yeah.
Trying to eliminate single-use plastics with unique packaging ideas, I think is awesome. Yeah.
Well, Lucas, thank you so much for joining me today. It was so fun to just deep dive into what it looks like in the packaging and engineering world and where it's headed, which is very exciting. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. There's a couple ways for you guys to keep in touch and learn more. Obviously, you can go check out our new website at vikingmasek.com. You can also subscribe to our podcast and be in the know on what's going on in the packaging world. Lucas, is there any way that our people can connect with you that you want to give yourself a shout out?
Yeah.
You on the socials?
LinkedIn, I'm obviously on there.
Let's go.
Otherwise, through the website, you can find the contact or just give the old front desk phone a ring and they'll patch you through. And happy to help.
Don't bombard him with so many questions,
please.
people. He's available, but also keep it in mind. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for episodes to come. They come out monthly. Thanks for joining us on Wrapping Things Up. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Wrapping Things Up. Make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Stay up to date by checking out Viking Masek on social media. Thanks for watching.